Welcome back, guys, to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, where we've come to, well, Criminal Affairs Department, and are kind of wondering why Gant is here, and also how to unlock more conversation topics with him, though, to be honest, we had a certain Miss Emma Skye wonder if we could speak to the Chief of Detectives on the sly, and we've talked to him before this method. So, let's hope it works. Actually, there's two detectives here. Can I talk to this guy? Will it work? That must be one of the detectives. He's mumbling something to himself. I know. The killer used a cassette tape. What a crafty trick. That gunshot was a fake. This is good. No one will expect a cassette tape in this day and age. He's not writing a report. He's writing a novel. Okay, that's not very good of you, but let's see. Can we chat to you? Oh, sorry you had to see that. What exactly did the Chief of Police want you to do? Well, see over there? That's Goodman's desk. Which one? He wanted me to check it for anything that might be a clue. He took away every last piece of garbage in the trash can. So nothing belonging to Detective Goodman is still here? Of course not. Well, except for this. What? You kept something? Sure, why not? It's not important. He didn't even finish writing it. It's a lost item report, but it's only half complete. A lost item? Did Detective Goodman lose something? The date on it is February 21st. Better make a note of that just in case. You're telling me I should really get back to investigating the police department crime scene. So yeah. Now we've turned that, the other way round. Before it used to read 12/2, which I thought was 2nd of December, but of course that note doesn't really work for any date. But now it's turned upside down. That matches the date of the memo here. So what I'm assuming then from that is that it is actually a lost piece of evidence? Possibly ID 5. He's filling out a lost item report for, well, he's trying to put his number in at the time. Too bad we can't check it anymore in any way. Can only be submitted by the Chief of Police. Well, that's interesting. That didn't actually get us anywhere with you, did it? Or it did. Right, so we had to do that, as Emma Skye even told us to do. It's glad that I tried to recap the end of my episodes by myself so I know where I'm at. Right then, let's talk about permission to enter what? Oh, wait a second, yeah. Actually, I was wondering if I could ask you a favour. Well, I never thought the day would come when Wright asked me for help. I was wondering if we could investigate the evidence room. Oh. Now, Righto. Actually, I'm sorry. I don't need to investigate after all. Righto, please. Do I look like a selfish man? Huh? Heck, if anyone asked me, sir, can I borrow $50? I'd give them $50, no problem. So go ahead, investigate that room to your heart's content. Knock yourself out. It just goes to show you never know until you ask. It's like he mulls over things, isn't it? It's like he carefully considers. That was a worrying pause there, actually. And for you here, you can borrow this. Huh? Hey, this is a detective's ID card, isn't it? Well, that's a special card for guests, so don't lose it. Yes, sir. It's an honor. You just run along and do your best now. Later, folks. Aha! It looks pretty cool on my lapel, doesn't it? Just think, real ID. You seem happy. Yes, sir, because, sir, we get to go into the evidence room now, sir. I think this place is a bad influence on the girl. But Gant's left. Okay. Farewell. Didn't get my 4th conversation option, did I? Well, we keep on moving. It seems a certain someone's still off looking for... Wait a second. I can't check. Okay, his head was always bandaged. I wondered if something changed there. But yes, Detective Gumshoe's still off for that steak lunch. So we move to the guard station now that we have an ID and can go in. So do we just examine it, or do we try to move? The evidence room is beyond that door. And we have the ID card from Chief Gant. Let's just walk in. It won't open. Aha! The card reader is turned off, see? What is that security guard thinking? Howdy, partners. Well, well, what's made my bambina sky so grey? He turns up in the nick of time. Officer Marshall! Why does it have to be him? Why do I have to butcher this accent more? What's that? Why does it have to be him look for? As you may have surmised, this here's my saloon. We're here to investigate the crime scene. Yeehaw! That card you got there on your chest. That's better than a sheriff's badge in these parts. Yeehaw? Well, what you standing there for? Get along, little doggies. The crime scene's awaiting. Looks like the card reader's on again. While we're here, I was wondering if we could ask you some questions. Sorry, cowboy, but I got no mind to tangle with you hombres. You're busy then? Did I say that? I only said I didn't wish to speak with you. Actually, you said you had no mind to tangle with us hombres. Right, I can definitely change that mind though, because we've been keeping this set, and because of the fact we noticed putting Officer Marshall in a good mood early on, we know we're going to play this card now. That smell! Ah, reminds me of Texas. So, Officer Marshall, you're from Texas? No, I just saw a special on television the other day. Is this from my baby? Yeah, Mr. What's this? What? What's wrong? A filet steak lunch. I see. I don't see. I wonder what it means. Steak lunch given to Officer Marshall. It's code, I bet. Alright, Bambina. You win. Ask anything. Finally, it seems like he's willing to talk. Could she read minds? Because I'm pretty sure I'm like not even I'm pretty sure those are my thoughts. Right then, so you're willing to talk about the guard station, eh? Officer Marshall, you're in charge of security for the evidence room, right? You got good eyes, partner. It's an easy job and I'm grateful for it. Actually, Officer Meekings at the detention center told us. Ah, that poor little doggy? Poor guy. I keep getting his name wrong and calling him Meekly. He told us something. He said that when the stabbing occurred, you weren't at your station. Well, maybe I shouldn't be telling you this. But since I got demoted from detective 2 years ago, well, it might not look it, but I lost my fire for the job, you know. So, what were you doing around 5:15 when the murder took place? Well, I reckon I was galloping down the highway on the back of my steed, Zippy. Note, he was riding down the highway on his horse named Zippy. There's no need for people here anyhow. These newfangled machines do a bang-up job of keeping an eye on the place. You mean the security camera system? I don't take to machines much. Kinda like that stewed broccoli they sneak in next to your steak, you know? Okay then, that's stewed broccoli. Damn that stewed broccoli. Miss Starr told us something. She said that you were a detective until 2 years ago. It was always my dream to be a rawhide wrangler on the scene of the crime. That's all gone now, like a drinking hole in a prairie fire. You're still investigating the SL9 incident with Miss Starr, aren't you? That was my case. It's all solved on the record books, but it smells like a bad game of poker. I can't let it go. That's all there is to it. What kind of case was it anyway? We've heard the name so many times, but no one tells us what actually happened. There are some things you're better off not knowing, Bambina. Anyway, that case is officially dead as of 2 days ago. Statute of limitations? 2 days ago. The day of our case. That's right. The evidence transferals. Edgeworth was talking about the transferals too. Right, tell us about that. Well, tell us about the security system more. We got that one first, after all. I know what maybe 2 of the machines in here do. Only 2 of them? There must be a dozen. Like I said, Bambina, me and machines, well, I like them about as much as I like stewed cauliflower with my steaks. The easiest ones to understand are these here security cameras. Those are the ones that Officer Meekins mentioned. If nothing happens, the tapes are automatically erased every few hours. And Officer Meekins and Detective Goodman, are they on one of the tapes? I reckon they might be. You're the security guard, you reckon? One more thing. When you go into the evidence room, you need an ID card. Well, that's the card reader by the door. The card reader leaves a record of every ID card that passes through. So this is the ID card record. Oh my goodness. I know we can't see much more here. But could it be that he lost his ID card? Could it be that? And that someone else went in? We have evidence to make us think that way anyway. So this is the ID card record. Hey, I've seen that somewhere before. Sorry, Bambina, I can't show you more than that. Huh? Haven't heard whether this is related to the case yet. Mr. Wright, I saw a number on that record just now. I've seen that number before. Was it all the 7s that you saw? Maybe there's some way I can prove that record is tied to the stabbing. Maybe. Sorry, but could you explain what this whole transferal thing is about? We keep only evidence from solved cases in this room. They're kept here under the presiding detective supervision for 2 years. So we can reinvestigate them if it turns out there was a mistake, see? So what happens to the evidence after 2 years? It goes to sleep forever in an underground vault of the county sheriff's department. That's what we call transferal. We do it every February. I see now. Transferal is like a funeral for old cases. 2 years after a case is solved, it's closed forever. Dead. Never to be reopened again. Never to be reinvestigated. And that happened at SL9 2 days ago. Okay then, well we found out quite a lot of information from you, sir. So from there, I guess we move onwards to the evidence room. Well, it seems to have ballistic shooting targets, fishing rods and stuff. Weird. Doors as well. It's quiet. The investigation must be over here. So this is the evidence room? It really is kind of like a graveyard. Graveyards are supposed to have grass and trees. This feels more like a morgue. Nice try, Mr. Wright. You can't scare me! Eek! Whoa! Someone get punched out? Did you punch me out? Sorry, I thought you were a ghost. Did you punch Gumshoe out? I wouldn't recommend going around smacking ghosts on the head, pal. So is it true what I heard? Righto. Please, do I look like a selfish man? I'm trying to cowboy still. Righto, please, do I look like a selfish man? Heck, if anyone asked me, sir, can I borrow $50? I'd give them $50, no problem. So go ahead, investigate that room to your heart's desire. Knock yourself out. Yeah, it's true. So, Chief of Police Gant will loan anyone $50, even me? Oh, so that's what you were talking about. Actually, I was put in charge of the investigation for today. Just for today? Boss for a day. But guess what? You got permission from the chief, so now you're boss for a day. Gee, thanks. First of all, you'll want to have this. Evidence room floor plans added to the court record. Okay then. Why will I want to have that? So it's a room in which there's just a bend at one point, so to be honest, if someone else was in there, wouldn't be that great visuals, but still. See the stabbing of the detective at the PD. Okay then. Well, we're here already. Let me luminol this room like crazy, I imagine is what I want to do. But let's talk first. Why you're boss for a day? So Detective Gumshoe, your boss for the day? That's right. It's an honor. After all, the murder took place right here in the police department. But if you're boss, why are you all alone? Where are your underlings? They're using yesterday's findings to prepare for tomorrow's trial. In other words, you got kicked out of the investigation. Again. I'm adamant, though. I'm going to take control and put this case to rest. In my own evidence locker, pal. You have a locker in here too, Detective Gumshoe? Haha, of course. I am a detective after all. I guess you got all of Edgeworth's cases. They gave me a locker that only I can open, pal. Only you can open? What's that hanging out of that one, I wonder? Which one's your one? I'll always believe in Mr. Edgeworth, no matter what happens. So, Mr. Edgeworth is with the inquiry committee now, right? They're trying to figure out who's responsible for the mess up in court today. I see. I guess this is what you call fate. Mr. Edgeworth just can't get away from that case. That case? Yeah, that case. The SL9 incident, of course. That was the beginning of the end for Mr. Edgeworth. Maybe we can get him to tell us more about the case. Maybe we can. Maybe we've got to present something first. This place is more high-tech than you might think. Every locker is fixed so that only one detective can open it. Using their ID card? Well, that's the thing, pal. ID cards can be lost. Why, I'm on my third card since entering the force already. That sounds like a lot. Yeah, but even I can't lose my own right hand. Right hand? Oh, you mean your fingerprint? Exactly, pal. The lock for each locker is coded with a fingerprint. So the only locker we can open is our own. Funny, they look like normal lockers. These are the latest model. There's a trick to the handles, see? The handles? Fingerprint recognition, I bet. On the other side of the handles is a sensor, and if the wrong person touches it, bazap, you get a shock. If that's what happened, my hand would be black and smoking every day. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. Officer Meekings. Right, so now we've got even more evidence and we're making a third page. This is a bit weird. Right, we can get him to talk more, can we, about the SL9 incident, possibly? If we are going to do that, then present evidence from SL9. Detective Goodman's note on that switchblade knife. I bet Edgeworth was the most surprised of anyone. Because of the SL9 connection? That was Mr. Edgeworth's first big case, you know, 2 years ago. That was the first time the world knew Edgeworth was a man to be feared. But why would evidence from that case turn up now? I guess it's not over, pal. Maybe there are some loose ends left on that case. Maybe there are. Well, if you guess it's not over, I bet that gives us the option. Now that was a bloody violent case. Violent? So it was a murder? A serial killing? A serial killing? Maybe I don't want to get involved in this after all. But the killer made a mistake, and Mr. Edgeworth built his case around that to nab him. And this was 2 years ago? Well, that put Mr. Edgeworth right in the spotlight, and started the rumour mill. Rumours? About forged evidence? It was supposed to be all cleaned up with the transferal the other day. It was the last job he ever did. Detective Goodman, that is. Huh? What do you mean? Detective Goodman was the detective in charge of the SL9 incident, see? So, that switchblade knife. The victim took the knife out of the evidence locker himself? Sounds like it's the possibility. Gives us information, but I don't know if we can get more from that. So first of all, let's start examining things. More to the point, this pokey out bit. There's something sticking out of here. Looks like a shirt. I guess it must be evidence for some case. I wonder if Detective Gumshoe put this here. There you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of slob. I'm not responsible for the evidence here. That said, I bet that evidence locker was opened recently. How do you know? If you leave things hanging out like that, the evidence gets dirty or ripped. The guard checks on that kind of stuff and notifies the detective responsible. How many times have I had him breathing down my neck about some silly evidence? Sounds like Detective Gumshoe leaves evidence hanging out a lot too. I bet he doesn't tuck in his shirt under that trench coat either. If you're going to talk behind someone's back, don't do it right in front of them, pal. Right, a bit mean, maybe. Ballistic target over here. Wow, look at this big pile of junk in the corner. That looks like a car door. There's a pair of handcuffs attached to the frame. Maybe the guy they caught was some sort of escape artist and he got away. Hey, that's one of those human profiles for range testing. He's been shot square in the forehead. Better him than us. Indeed it is. And we got fishing rods and stuff over here. Some sort of bulky equipment is gathering dust here. What a sorry looking fishing pole that is. Ah, that's my personal pole. I never did get around to using it. Wait, I've seen that somewhere before. Right, pal. That's that metal detector. The one that led to the solving of that case out of Gourd Lake, remember? Alright. Wow, that feels like it was ages ago. And, I don't think I've seen this one before. Oh, that's a bug sweeper. I'm sure it will come in handy in solving some case sooner or later. A cheap-looking box? You can't judge a person or a machine by their cover. You gotta look at their heart. Right then, so we started checking out the room as a whole. There's still more evidence to check out in here though, or more little bits and pieces to examine. So join me next time on Phoenix Wright as we continue to examine the evidence room. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.